IT-201 Capstone Research 1. Etymology. Researchy, to go about seeking, in Middle French. Researcher, re plus searcher or searcher, in Old French. What is research? Gathering of data, information, and facts for the advancement of knowledge. Collecting and analyzing information to increase our understanding of a topic or issue. Steps include: pose a question, collect data, and present answer. Webster defines the term research as a careful and systematic study and investigation in some field of knowledge. It is careful and systematic since a course of action may only be known by first defining the condition that needs corrective measures, followed by an analysis of its background and effects. Importance of research. A quest for knowledge and understanding, an interesting and perhaps useful experience, a way to broaden the frontiers of knowledge, a way to improve quality of human life, a course for qualification, a career, an essential process for commercial success, and an ego boost for you. Characteristics of researcher: intellectual curiosity, prudence, healthy criticism, intellectual honesty. Intellectual curiosity, reflective thinking inquiry, getting information as to novelty or unusualness, seeking questions, constant reading, using experiences, creativeness, inventiveness, and testing hypotheses. Prudence, conducting the study at the right time, at the right place wisely, economically, efficiently, doing the right thing at the right time. Healthy criticism, doubtful as to veracity of the results, truthfulness of the findings. Intellectual honesty, honest in collecting or gathering data, arriving at honest results. Another characteristics of research: empirical, logical, cyclical, analytical, replicability, and critical. Empirical, based on direct experience or observation, collection of data released on practical experience without benefit of the scientific knowledge or theory. Logical, based on valid procedures or principles, done in orderly manner, drawing valid conclusions. Cyclical, starts and ends with a problem. From conclusions and recommendations, many researchable problems pop up. Cycle is repeated but must follow definite format and style. Analytical, applying analytical procedures. Historical research or past, descriptive research present, experimental research in future, case study, past, present, future. Replicability, research design procedures are replicated. Comparison of similarities and differences. The more replications, the more valid conclusive result to arrive at. Critical, careful and precise judgment, establishing high level of confidence, 1% level of confidence and 5% level of confidence. Types of research: pure research, applied research, and action research. Pure research, basic research or fundamental research, aims to discovering the basic truths or principles to add to a body of scientific knowledge. Applied research, application of scientific knowledge to the solution of problem, development of new system, procedure, device, or method. Problem is identified, a new system is applied. Action research, decision-oriented research, application of steps of scientific method. Research, field research, and laboratory research. Library research conducted in the library such that answers are available in the library. Historical research, past, primary, or secondary sources are available in the library. Field research, conducted in a natural setting, no changes in the environment, applicable to descriptive survey and experimental methods. Laboratory research, conducted in artificial or controlled conditions, isolating the study in an operationalized area, to test hypotheses, to control variance, to discover the relation between DV and IV. Laboratory research, applicable to experimental, descriptive, and case study methods. Types of variables: independent variable, dependent variable, moderate variable, control variable, intervening variable. Independent variable or IV is a stimulus variable, determines relationship to an observed phenomenon. Independent variable is manipulated. Dependent variable, response variable, observed and measured to determine the effect of the IV. DV changes when the IV varies. Moderate variable, secondary or special type independent variable, to ascertain if it alters or modifies the relationship between the IV and DV. IV affects DVB, but factor C is suspected to modify the relationship between A and B, so C is the moderator variable. Control variable, variable controlled by the researcher. Effects can be neutralized by eliminating or removing. IV affects DVB. The researcher may control D or control variable because he cannot do many variables simultaneously. Intervening variable, variable that interferes the IV and DV. Effects can either strengthen or weaken the IV and DV. IV affects DVB. Interviewing factors F might have an effect on DV. Step to scientific research: observation and formation of the topic, hypothesis, conceptual definition, operational definition, gathering of data, analysis of data, data interpretation, test, revising of hypothesis, and conclusion. Research design: historical method, descriptive method, experimental method, and case study method. Historical method: history deals with past events. Systematic critical inquiry of the whole truth of past events using critical method in the understanding and interpretation of facts, current, or issues. Use of historical method: searches the past for solutions to contemporary problems and needs, throws light on the present, gives people a sense of continuity of the past to the present, enables communities to grasp their relationship with the past to the current issues, chronicles events, often enduring work upon people, consciousness of unity and the feeling of the importance of human achievement. Descriptive method: present condition, purpose to find a new truth, increased knowledge, relationship, more accurate formulation of problem, development of new instruments, tests, questionnaires, interview, observation schedules, checklists, scorecards, rating scales. Descriptive method: type of descriptive research: descriptive survey, normative, status, analysis, classification, evaluative, comparative, surveys, and correlational surveys. Descriptive method: type of descriptive research: survey, gathering of data regarding present conditions, to prove the values of facts, to focus attention on important things. Questionnaire as gathering instrument, psychological and social aspect of research. Descriptive normative: ascertain that normal or typical condition, comparing results of local tests with the national norm. Descriptive status: answers question to the real facts relating to the existing conditions. Determines the prevailing conditions in a group of cases chosen for study. Stresses current condition with an implication of the data that things will change. Descriptive analysis: determines and describes the nature of a thing by separating it into its parts. Determines the kind, quantity, proportions of parts that form a whole. Determines the composition, structure, substructure that occur as unit within the large structure. Descriptive classification: natural sciences and specimens collected as classified from phylum to a species. Descriptive evaluative: appraises the worthiness of the current study, uses questionnaire to evaluate. Comparative: considers two entities and establishes a formal procedure for gathering criterion data as basis to compare and conclude which of the two is better. Correlative survey: determines the relationship of two variables nx, y, whether their relationship is perfect, very high, high mark, slight, or negligible. Perfect positive correlation with the value is 1.0 is seldom happened. Perfect negative correlation with the value of negative 1.0 is also rarely happened. Longitudinal surveys involves much time allotted for investigation of the same subjects at two or more points in time. Experimental method. Problem-solving approach. Describe what will happen when certain variables are controlled or manipulated. Natural sciences with limitation on fields of education, psychology, and sociology. Expected to reveal cause and effect relationships. Types of experimental method. Single group design, parallel group design, counterbalance design, pre-test, post-test group design, and complete randomized design. Single group design involves a single treatment with two or more levels. Means and analysis of variance ANOVA are statistical tools to be used. Mean determines the acceptability or effectiveness of a particular product. ANOVA determines the significant difference on the quality attributes of the product. Parallel group design. Two or more groups are used simultaneously with only one single variable is manipulated or changed. Experimental group is varied. Parallel group serves as the control of comparative purposes. Counterbalance design. Quasi-experimental design, rotation design involves an exchange of two or more treatments taken by the subject during the experiment. Latin square. Each variable in a form of square occurs once in a row or column. Pre-test post-test group design involves the experimental group and the control group carefully selected through randomization procedures. Pre-test is given to both groups at the beginning of the semester and post-test at the end of the semester, but the control group is isolated from all experimental influences. Complete randomized design. A group of test plants or animals is studied only once by subsequent treatment is applied to determine the cause of change. No control group but the subjects will undergo randomization procedures. Case study method. A problem-solving technique that the study is described from the past, present, and future, categorized under descriptive. However, it is more distinct if this technique is placed in another method which is independent with the other. An intensive investigation of a particular individual institution, community, considered as a unit which include the development, adjustment, remedial, or corrective procedures that follow diagnosis of the causes of maladjustment or favorable development. Cycle of case study method. Recognition and determination of the status of the phenomenon to be investigated. Collection of data relative to the factors of circumstances associated with the given phenomenon. Diagnosis of or identification of causal factors as a basis for remedial or development treatment. Application of remedial or adjustment measures. Subsequent follow-up to determine the effectiveness of the corrective or developmental measures